The first sight. The universe had grown used to power. Alien empires had fleets that stretched across hundreds of star systems. They believed they knew every threat, every danger, every piece of history written in the stars. Yet there were always whispers, rumors of something lost, something buried, something too dangerous to speak of. Those whispers spoke of humans. For generations, humanity had vanished, their colonies silent, their homeworld cut off from the galaxy. The great empires mocked the idea of humans as warriors. To them, humans were primitive, short-lived, emotional creatures. They laughed whenever old records described them as survivors, predators, or builders of mighty ships. No one feared humans anymore. Not until the sighting. It began on the edge of a forgotten sector, near a trade route where small merchant ships passed quietly. A routine patrol by alien cruisers was scanning the area when their sensors caught something unusual. At first it seemed like a shadow, faint, massive, drifting through the black void. The patrol captain ordered a closer scan, expecting debris or an abandoned station. But the readings shook the crew. It wasn't debris. It wasn't a rock. It was a ship. And not just any ship. It was old, scarred, yet its hull shimmered with unknown alloys. The design didn't match any empire, syndicate, or alliance. Its silhouette was sharp and terrifying, built for one purpose: war. A warship. A human warship. The crew grew restless. "It cannot be human," one officer muttered. "They are extinct." But the computer confirmed. The structure, the power, core, the strange human markings along the side, all matched fragments of data stored in forbidden archives. There was no mistake. The humans were back. Fear spread like wildfire. The patrol retreated without firing a shot. They sent an emergency, broadcast across the system. Within hours, governments, mercenaries, and diplomats all received the same signal. A human warship was spotted. The news tore across the galaxy like lightning. On trading worlds, whispers grew into shouts. Merchants spoke of humans as nightmares that once challenged the strongest empires. On military outposts, officers demanded answers. Was this a ghost ship, a relic, or proof that humanity still lived? In the capital halls of the largest empire, leaders panicked. They remembered stories, told in secret chambers, how humans had once fought enemies stronger and older than themselves and had never surrendered. They remembered that when humans were cornered, they turned entire worlds into battlegrounds. And now, one of their ships had returned. But this was not just fear. For others, the sighting was hope. Smaller nations, crushed under the boots of mighty rulers, whispered prayers that the humans had come back. They dreamed that one human warship might stand against entire fleets. They dreamed of rebellion, of freedom, of shaking the galaxy's chains. Meanwhile, in the darkness of deep space, the warship moved silently. Its engines were quiet, yet its presence filled the void with unease. It did not answer signals. It did not identify itself. It simply drifted, like a predator waiting for the right moment to strike. What none of the watching empires knew was this: inside that ship, there were humans. Tired, scarred, but alive. They had been gone for centuries, hidden from the galaxy, preparing, waiting. And now, the universe had seen their shadow. The universe had remembered its fear. The galaxy thought the warship was just one relic. They were wrong. It was only the beginning, and soon the aftermath would send shockwaves through every empire, every fleet, every world. Because when humanity moved, the stars trembled. The fear spreads. The report of the human warship did not fade. It spread. Every corner of the galaxy, from glittering city planets to cold mining colonies, the same question burned in every mind. What happens if the humans return? The patrol crew who first spotted the warship were already locked away. Their empire silenced, them declaring the sighting a state secret. But secrets never lasted long in space. The image of the ship, its shadow, its sharp hull, was already leaked into black markets and hidden networks. The photo spread faster than any empire could control. At first, people doubted. Some called it a trick, a fake, a clever forgery meant to stir chaos. But as more ships along the outer routes confirmed strange sensor readings, an object massive, armored, drifting with silent power, the doubts began to vanish. Fear took root. Merchants halted their trade convoys. They whispered that where humans walked, war always followed. Smugglers raised their prices, claiming danger would soon choke safe passages. Refugees began to gather at borders, terrified that entire sectors would burn. The mighty empires reacted with fury. In the High Council, chambers of the largest empire, generals slammed their fists against steel tables. "It is impossible," one shouted. "Humans cannot return. We crushed their colonies. We erased their presence." But the image of the warship remained, staring back at them from the projector. The silence of the vessel, the strange glow of its engines, the defiance of its very existence, it mocked every word of denial. The Emperor's voice was cold. "If humanity lives, they must be destroyed again. No trace must remain. Prepare the fleets." And so, across dozens of star systems, war drums began to beat. Ships mobilized. Factories forged new weapons. Every admiral swore to crush the rumor, to erase the ghost of humanity. But beneath their pride, even they felt a shiver. Because the memory of humans was not gone. It lived in the oldest records. It lived in the scars of ancient battles. It lived in the warnings that elders whispered to their children. Do not provoke them. Do not corner them. Humans do not fear death. While the great powers panicked, smaller nations watched with different eyes. The oppressed, the enslaved, the ones crushed under the boots of larger empires. They saw the warship as a spark, a sign that the universe was not unbreakable, that the chains around their worlds might one day shatter. They whispered in the shadows, "If even one human ship has returned, perhaps more will follow." In one crowded tavern on a border world, a rebel leader spoke quietly to her followers. "The empires fear this ship. That means we should not fear it. It means we should hope, because the enemy of our enemy might be our salvation." The galaxy trembled, yet the warship itself moved slowly, silently, as though it cared nothing for the chaos it caused. It did not fire. It did not speak. But every world it passed drew their breath in terror. Was it scouting? Was it threatening? Was it watching? The mystery grew deeper when a mercenary fleet tried to intercept it. A band of ruthless pirates hired by frightened merchants set a trap. They had fast attack ships, heavy weapons, and the arrogance of those who thought humans were only myths. They surrounded the warship, broadcasting threats. "Unknown vessel," the pirate commander roared. "Identify yourself or be destroyed." The human warship gave no answer. Then, without warning, its weapons came alive. No one expected such power. The first pirate ship was torn apart in seconds, split by a single beam of light. The second was shredded by kinetic rounds that ripped through its shields. The others tried to scatter, but the warship moved with deadly precision. It fired with silence. No words, no mercy. Within minutes, the fleet was nothing but burning wreckage drifting in space. And then, the warship went silent again. It did not chase. It did not explain. It simply turned and vanished into the dark, leaving nothing but wreckage and whispers behind. That single battle was enough. The pirates' last transmission, filled with panic and terror, spread across networks. Every empire, every leader, every soldier heard the screams, "It is human, it is real, and it cannot be stopped." Now panic became reality. Entire systems prepared for war. Fleets gathered at borders. Leaders demanded answers. But there was no answer. There was only silence. Silence and the shadow of the warship moving closer and closer to the heart of the galaxy. What none of them knew, what none of them even imagined, was that the ship was not alone. It was the first signal, the first warning, because humanity had not vanished. Humanity had been waiting, and the galaxy had just woken them up. The gathering storm, The destruction of the pirate fleet could not be hidden. Their wreckage drifted through space like a graveyard, their transmissions echoing across the stars. For the galaxy, it was the final proof. Humanity was back. Empires moved quickly. Armies were summoned. Borders were sealed. Fleets that normally fought each other turned their weapons outward, toward the void where the warship had appeared. The galaxy had always been divided, by politics, by greed, by ancient rivalries. But now, for the first time in centuries, they shared a common fear. In the War Council of the Dominion, the highest commanders argued in rage. We cannot allow this shadow to move freely. If one ship can destroy an entire fleet of mercenaries, what could 100 do? Another general slammed his claws against the table. We must unite. Even our rivals must be contacted. If the humans truly return, then all of us are at risk. But not everyone agreed. In secret halls, some leaders saw opportunity. They believed that if they captured the ship, they could unlock its secrets of power that could make them unstoppable. For these leaders, fear twisted into greed. They began sending hidden fleets not to destroy but to hunt and capture.